Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Welcome to another exciting episode of the EntreMusician podcast. This is the space where we concentrate on the mindset, discipline, and focus of the EntreMusician. Today's episode, no exception. In fact, this episode is all about encouragement. I'm pausing our series for a minute on Dolby Atmos and the regular flow of interviews to speak directly to you today. I mean, usually around this time of the year, we're headed toward Thanksgiving. Wow. Many people default into assessment mode. And I've already shared that this is my Achilles heels. Proper evaluation is something that I'm continuing to improve upon. But I know many people, especially musicians, when evaluating their achievements or their lack thereof, they generally begin by complaining about things they did not finish or accomplish instead of celebrating what they did do. Now, while I can understand the need to absolutely attain the exact goals you aspire to, I myself, I'm driven to do the same. But I want you to know it's very, very proper to maintain balance. So when you look in the rearview mirror, you can have a very healthy perspective of how far you've come. You may not come as quickly or as far as you want to, but you're moving forward. But today, my heart is to encourage the singer, the musician, the songwriter, the producer, however you are involved in music or this industry. I'm here to encourage the person that doesn't fall in either category. My heart is to encourage the person who has yet to begin the journey at all. Now, as I record this episode, it's Friday, November 10th, 2023, and I can recall this very same time last year. Last year, I had already sat down with my senior pastor, who was my direct supervisor. This is back in October of 22. And I sat there with him in his office, the purpose of which was to inform him of my departure with the rest of the team there at the church. Now, this is something that my wife Lori and I have been pondering over the past few years prior. We've been thinking and praying about it because, music, writing, recording, production, performing, everything about music has been in my heart, in my veins, in my DNA for decades. And certainly each one of my daughters could tell you they're all adult women now, but they can acknowledge that the constant thread through their childhood was their father's central desire to succeed in music. Now, I'm not talking necessarily as a superstar. That wasn't, me with all the trappings and everything. I'm sure that does have its place in some regards. And obviously, I would like to experience a few of the trappings, but primarily, I want to do work that's respected throughout the industry. I really do. That's my heart. I want to make a great living working full-time in music, which affords me the opportunity to work with some of the best in this business. And of course, that in turn will earn me a profitable income to build wealth. That's my heart. So publishing, distribution, producing music, copywriting, writing for sync, and all of these things I want to be involved in. Now, for sure, the Lord has blessed Lori and I. We enjoy a wonderful life. We have a good home. We have appropriate resources. And certainly while we may not have every single little thing that we want, we definitely have all we need by God's grace. And so over the past 40 years or so, truly, I've been able to do a few things of note, musically and otherwise. And I know that without a doubt, with consistent intentionality, I can accomplish whatever it is that I set out to do. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, in looking in my own rearview mirror and doing my own assessment, I know that I can accomplish more. So here I was last November. If you can imagine, I'm in my pastor's office and, I talked to him about that last October. But in November, I had already set these things in stone and I was going to leave my unemployment, and I was going to dive headfirst by faith into music production. I got to tell you, there was some nervousness. There was some second guessing. I was praying, but I was also arguing against my own negative self-talk. I was calling myself crazy every now and then. Not to mention, there was some murmuring from some family and friends. And, I look back over the time, I can't blame them. What is Jerry thinking, right? Who gives up a solid income at 57 years of age? I'm now 58. But who gives that up without a safety net? They were saying things like, he's a good musician, but he's definitely not exceptional. True, I agree. Jerry has some limited connections, but for the most part, his wife is going to have to carry the family through when things get tough. Now, these issues and other matters are absolutely real concerns. They were then, they are now. And in addition, last November, I had just merely a skeleton plan. We had few resources and we had less money. Lori and I had to nestle together our few nickels, and we created an emergency fund, and we switched some things around in our savings account. But we were determined. We were determined to step out of the boat, to walk on the water and keep our eyes on Jesus. That was our determination. And a few things that I knew I did have and could count on was my wife's overwhelming love and support. And I had 7,000 tons of passion to make this thing happen. I had an earnest desire which would never, ever leave me. And I had, and still do have, my belief in God and belief in myself that this is my purpose. But still, like I said previously, my passion, my desire and belief system did little to calm some of the butterflies at times. So I had to really, truly bite down and dig in my heels. And this is where my encouragement to you comes in. I want you to lean in and listen to me very, very closely. Because I want you to know that you may be that one who is right on the threshold of taking your own leap of faith. But for some reason, you may be shrinking back and afraid to take the next step. And I know how you feel. I can truly say, brother, sister, I understand. And my heart is for you. I want to encourage you that you were born to complete your destiny. And the mere fact that your dream just won't leave you alone is because you were supposed to be living it. That's the truth. Everything you need to do everything you need to do will fall into place. Once you make the decision to do it, everything you need to do. Let me repeat this, okay? I'm going to say it again. Everything you need to do everything you need to do will fall into place. Once you make the decision to do everything you need to do. Now, like me, you may not have all of the resources, the connections, the money, the equipment, the space, etc., etc. There's always going to be something lacking. It may not be quote unquote the right time. Here's a secret. It will never, ever, 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 ever be the perfect time. Never. Never. But here's another secret. Once you determine deep within your own heart that is now or never, it's amazing how everything you need begins to find its way to you. And that's just the absolute truth. That's why I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you because I'm looking back last November and wow, by God's grace, what has happened. Now, one of the components in my experience was to disconnect myself from a particular studio space that I had been blessed to occupy for years. And I'm grateful to have had access to this space. And I learned so many lessons personally and professionally while I was working there. But my leaving this specific space, and there was a reason I left, and my reason for leaving it meant that other than in my own home, in my own studio space, other than a few pieces of gear and my DAW, a couple of plugins, I could do no real significant work like I was doing. But I got to tell you, I picked up a second job in the evenings, and God provided, A few benefactors showed up who believed in my dream, and within about 4 months, it took about 4 months only, but within those 4 months, by God's grace, I had everything I needed for audio and video, which includes the equipment that I'm recording this podcast on right now. In addition, I was blessed with a second studio space with all of the equipment that I needed to produce the larger projects that are coming. Now, allow me to pause right here. Let me just pause right here. Let me say this to you. You may be listening to my story and think that, well, somehow I am this grand exception, that perhaps like I have some special magical access and things just fall into my lap. I can understand that type of thinking because I used to think that same way myself. That's why it happens to him or her. But I want you to hear this again, that I got a second job, okay? I was willing to do what I needed to do to make this happen. And when I made the decision to do this, okay, then the other situations fell into place. I never asked anyone for a dime. That's just the God's honest truth. Never did. But I was willing to put the sweat equity in, and over time, everything fell into place. Again, hear my encouragement to you. I'm no different than you. Not at all. I'm certain that in many ways, you're far more talented than I am. You're far more creative than I. You're smarter than I am. I can guarantee it. The only thing that marks the difference between you and I is that I made a decision and you haven't made yours yet. So let me reassure you. Can I do that? Let me reassure you that absolutely everything you need to succeed is inside you. And it is waiting to come out. It's waiting for you. Now, for some of you, that might sound extraterrestrial and you really would have to adopt and develop a rock solid mindset, because this is not about peaches and cream that I'm trying to shove at you. This is not about strawberry sunsets. This is real work. And this is why the EntreMusician stands on the 3-tiered foundation of mindset, discipline, and focus. In fact, this is why I wrote this book, The Path of the EntreMusician. I wrote it first to convince myself that I believed everything I was saying to myself. I also wrote it to give me perspective that when the ebbs and flows of running this business become a little overwhelming, I could examine one or more of these keys and give myself some real perspective to get back on point. And another interesting thing about writing this book. See, while I was writing this book last year, I did not know anything about iClassical Academy. Never heard of it. What they were or what this great institution was doing, nothing. But as a result of writing this book and beginning to post about these 9 keys online, I got to meet Irma de Jong and Gianricardo Pera. So one conversation leads to another, and another conversation leads to another, which leads to me developing a curriculum on mindset, discipline, and focus for iClassical Academy. I'm grateful for that. See, this is exactly what I mean, and this is exactly why I'm drilling away at you so hard with this encouragement. When you talk about risking it all, like no safety net, other than your faith, there is no other ground to stand upon. I mean, you have to go for it. And hear me again, one more time. Hear me one more time. If you, my friend, are standing at the threshold of letting the life you truly want to lead slip by the life you truly want to live, why let it slip by? Ask yourself why. Why? Why let one more year come and go and you're not living out your destiny and purpose? Ask yourself, do it. Pause this podcast and say why. And then ask yourself, why be average? Why be normal? Why be status quo when there is so much more to you that you may not even see right now, but it's going to come out? See, this is it. This is your life. You're going to bring out of you what's inherent and what you work toward. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to make your life incredible. You make your life incredible. You make your life wonderful. You make your life exciting. And listen, let me tell you, you may have to start and stop and start again. You may have to experiment with this and that. You may have to learn and research and stretch yourself. You may have to cry. You may have to lose friends. You may have to take bold stands. You're going to have to defend your passion over and over again. You're going to have to work late, often alone. But you will achieve what you have decided to. That's just the truth. And the only way you can lose is to sit back and do nothing. Because once you start, you're on that journey. And I'm telling you, I want this for you. I had to do this podcast because I was thinking back to last November. I don't even know you, but I want this for you because I really know what it feels like to step off the cliff, man. I know what that feels like. And no, I haven't reached all of my goals. Not even for this year. I got a couple more weeks. But I'm a fellow warrior with you and I'm out here swinging. So come on and join me in the ring. Join us. Let's be gladiators together. That's why the EntreMusician exists. So together we can build. Together we can go for it. Together we can encourage each other. That's why we build community here at the EntreMusician. So I'm inviting you. Come join. Come join the collective story where you're growing your own story. It's wonderful. You should schedule a call with me. Let me encourage you one-on-one and not just through the podcast. Let's have a real conversation. And you can do that. You can do that right now. You can schedule a call. You can go to the EntreMusician.com. You can become a member. You can sign up for our online community, right? When you do that, you have a multitude of people who are in the ring with you, who are sharing resources, who are encouraging each other, who are giving each other advice. We're sharing information that is right now that is needed. We are inviting on guests, industry pros who are helping answer our questions directly and navigate us in the right way. We're doing it. You should be doing it with us. Really. You should be doing it with us. My name is Jerry B. Thank you for the opportunity to encourage you. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given me to share this time with you and just speak from my heart. I wish you the absolute best. I wish that all your dreams come true. In fact, I bless you that your dreams come true. I bless you with good health and long life. I pray that 2024 becomes an incredible milestone that just you twisted it, you stood on your feet and you said, I'm going for it. And you're just blessed because of it. That's my blessing to you. And I bless you in the name of my Lord Jesus. I bless you in his name. And if you're not a follower of Christ, if you're not a person of faith, listen, don't be offended by that. That's just my blessing for you, right? You have your own belief system, then you adopt your own blessing. The important thing is that you go for it, that you don't leave the planet until you've accomplished your purpose. Don't leave the planet. Don't leave that dream inside you. Make it happen. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician. So are you. We'll see you again next time.